that music? Oh, you're so serious. Or are you frozen? Did we lose Ryan already? Or did you lose me? God, I have no idea what's happening. I'm going to check my Twitter feed. It says the broadcast is not available. It looks like it's available. Are we not working? What happened? I don't know what to do. Well, I guess I'll just stand here and drink until somebody figures it out. Hey, folks, welcome to Week's End. Apparently, I'll be your only host this week. My name is Graham Knows. I believe my esteemed colleague Ryan Boyles will be joining us at some point. He's calling me. Let me take the call. Thank you for calling Week's End. This is your host, Graham. This must be Ryan.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. StreamYard, the whole site just went down for me.
Oh.
So I had trouble connecting.
I think it's still broadcasting.
You think it is?
It looks like it is from my end.
Really?
Here, I'll go ahead and drop out, and we'll get this figured out. Folks, if you are still watching, give us a minute, and we'll be back.
It says it's broadcasting. Okay. So you come back in. And folks, we'll get the show
Hey!
underway. Hey, are we live, folks?
I think we are live. I love technical difficulties.
I guess we could go check the internet. That was weird. Like the whole StreamYard site just kind of acted like it wasn't there. But
you know what? It presents us with a new challenge.
You know what?
We got to overcome,
no,
right?
Well, I just checked Twitter. It looks like we're live. So let's continue.
Cool.
Let's get on with the show, folks. This is show number 88. Welcome to Week's End, Graham.
Wow. Hey, welcome, buddy. We'll just do a little take two. Here we go.
Yes.
And you know what the problem is? I'll tell you. I know why this got all screwed up. Technically speaking, and why live stream just gave you such a problem. It's because I changed my camera angle.
Oh,
after 88 shows, I finally changed my camera.
You decided it was time to show us the other side of the room.
If I hadn't done that, baby, I wanted to show off my Star Wars arcade and my
I get it, man.
arcade posters. If I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have a problem.
I'm more fascinated by that side of the room, honestly. So I'm glad you decided to reveal it to our audience.
It's a good side. If I change the camera angle even more, there's so much more stuff to see, but it's a little ugly. So I'll just leave. It's a little messy, so I'll just leave it over here. Anyway, how are you, Ryan?
I'm doing well, man. You know why I'm doing so well?
Ryan Alexander Boyles.
You know why I'm doing well today? Did you know you can make your own Lego minifigs now of yourself?
No way.
Like it used to be something that was like a cool swag item that I had seen a couple of companies do, a couple of conferences do, and was insanely jealous of. But now I got one, somebody made one of me and sent it to me. Check this out.
Get
I got this
out.
box from socialmedia.org, which is a professional organization that I joined recently. And they sent me this care package. So I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing and just check this out. They sent me this note and I opened it up and lo and behold, there's a Lego guy in there. They're like, we're thrilled to have you as a member. Welcome to the family. This is our first attempt to make a little version of you. Check this out. Well, I will admit I took off the hairpiece and put on a hat because I felt like I was more, well, you know, the hairpiece was kind of a lie when you consider my current hairline.
Well, does the hat say Avett Brothers on it or not?
It doesn't, but we're going to have that customized, don't you?
I was going to say, you got to have that finished because that's all you, bro.
But I'm wearing a socialmedia.org t-shirt and I put myself on this NC State University brick to stand on. It's really cool. I appreciate it.
That is super cute. I love it.
The folks out at socialmedia.org are listening or watching or thank you. All right. So thanks for that.
Dude, the whole world is listening.
Oh, yeah. Totally. What's up with the Rebel theme today, man? I'm really kind of digging it, but
Our promo for today is the two of us broadcasting live from the Rebel base on Yavin, which of course we were there. That is a very non-photoshopped image.
Right.
Clearly, that is a real
Correct.
thing.
We run a
Please,
talk show on a Rebel moon.
we were actually there. So please, folks, trust me that is real. That is not something that I very pathetically did with very limited skills. But
That is a
also,
cool.
did you hear about this article from Mark Ruffalo?
No. Oh, I think I did. I think you want to talk about it. I kind of like Mark Ruffalo, but you're saying he's like kind of going in left field on this one, right?
Well, no, I like Mark Ruffalo as well, and his depiction of the Hulk has been okay, but so basically he said that when you go and you see a movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all of the movies are different, or at least, Iron Man was different from like Thor Ragnarok, for example, right? Like very different films, which is true. And what he's saying about Star Wars is that every movie is the same. It's all the same shit. And at first I was like, shut up, Mark Ruffalo. Don't you talk about my Star Wars. And then I started to realize, like, yeah, he's kind of right. But I think he's also missing something, which is the MCU has all of this whole multiverse. Well, not only a concept, but also like, the world Thor comes from, for example, looks very different from Tony Stark's life. So you've got all these characters that come, then you've got Doctor Strange, you've got Thanos, the Guardians of the Galaxy, they all come from all over the place. Whereas Star Wars takes place in like one sort of consistent universe. So there is kind of a reason why Star Wars looks the way it does. Now, we've also talked many times about about not recycling the same stuff every single time you do a new show or a movie, and I agree with that. But like, what do you think about that? Do you think?
I don't know.
Do you think the Ruffy is right? I want to know.
Well, first of all, I want to take issue with the Hulk. I don't know. I don't want to go on a tangent, and maybe this needs to be a rant of the week once She-Hulk comes out. But I don't like the nice guy, funny Hulk. I think I like gruff. I'm gonna destroy your.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
like where he's sitting in the restaurant eating pancakes, taking selfies with kids.
Yeah, like that was the weakest part of Endgame. Let's just be real. Anyhow,
yeah.
But talking about Star Wars, I mean, I'm torn because just like we've talked about with Star Trek, you're right he's right in the one hand that they focus series on like just one crew or one set, and they spend 90% of an episode kind of in that environment. Practically speaking, that's kind of what they have to do. But I do think the magic shines when you go to these weird planets with weird aliens, and those are the things I appreciate about the universe. It does seem wide. Maybe they don't explore it enough. Maybe it's not enough of the story, but I feel like that is shifting and changing now. Now that we're done with the Skywalker saga, we're moving on to other planets, other timelines, other places, other faces, right? So
yeah,
I don't know.
And I still love Lucas's original vision of the. It wasn't. How did he refer to it? It was the used universe or dirty universe. He had some. That doesn't sound right, but this notion that like science fiction was typically everything was pristine and white and perfect, and that's not really the case. It's the way he shows everything's dented, broken, dirty, used, kind of grimy, right? Like I really like that. So
and I also think like that's why we like Alien. That's why we like Aliens. That's why we like Predator, because it has similar themes in every movie, but different heroes, different places, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I
don't know. I mean, I guess we could debate it, but
I feel like I'm disagreeing. I feel like I'm disagreeing with him because honestly, some of the differences in the MCU are actually go too far. It's a little too jarring. It's a little.
So I agree with that. But there's also parts of that I like. I guess what I'm saying is, at first I was defensive because I thought he was I didn't read the whole article. I don't read. Who reads?
Yeah, who
I just
reads?
read the headline and then make wild assumptions from there.
Correct.
And my
Correct.
wild assumption was that he was like shitting on Star Wars, but I don't think that's the case. And I guess what I'm saying is I like the variety of the MCU. And folks, I'd love to know what you think. But I also like the consistency of Star Wars. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like
Yeah,
Star
yeah,
Trek,
yeah.
right? Like Star Trek, they keep changing the universe and it looks totally different every time we get a new Star Trek. And like, I don't like that. I find that to me isn't. Now, I'm not saying everything had to look like it looked in the 60s or even Next Generation.
Yeah.
But it's just like everything's getting, it's just like, so I like MCU. I love what they're doing. DC, whatever. But I also like Star Wars, the way I like the consistency of Star Wars. Anyway, that's that. I just wanted to bring that up. And because we're a couple of rebels fighting
Yep.
against the Empire. And I figured,
With a rebel yell. Let's talk about another. Let's talk about another rebel. So, we talked about Prey for a couple of weeks now. We love the film. I people can't shut up about it. Like, there's calls for like, why the hell didn't they release it on the big screen? It could have been a blockbuster in theaters, and I agree with that. But a lot of folks are like, talking about the actress who plays the main character that fights the prehistoric predator in this film, that she's like a breakout star. And I'm like, well, guess what? You should go check out this little series. There were calls for her to join the MCU, and that seems to be the hot thing. Like, if you're good at something, then you should get apparently associated with the MCU to make it really big or something like that. But she's already in the MCU. She's in a show called Legion on FX that is all around the mutant universe. With it's like a side series, a side comic book series that got brought to FX that's related to the X-Men universe. So it's really
I had
good.
no idea that was her.
It's
By the
really
way,
good.
can we just comment
Yeah.
that Mid Thunder is
The
one of the
coolest name
coolest
ever.
Latin?
Yes.
Yes.
I know. I want to rename myself right now because I feel embarrassed. I mean,
But Mid Thunder
Mid Thunder.
presumes the existence of like
Right.
End Thunder.
Correct. Or Short Thunder or
Beginning
all kinds
Thunder.
of things. But I think that's cool. And two more Predator shout outs I want to give really quick. I don't know if
I
you
haven't seen
saw
it yet,
this.
by the way.
Well, I'm not going to give anything away. Well, do you want to see what the Predator looks like, or do you not want to see?
I want to see.
All right. So this is going to make you geek out. Hold on to your hats. This is a view of the Predator.
Wow.
And so someone on this Twitter thread, Michael Vincent, I believe he's one of the artists that helped design the Predator for this film, and he goes into like the scientific reasons why the dreads are different, why he has 16 abs, why the skin is different, and it's
Hey,
all
I
this
also have 16 abs. That's
scientific
amazing.
explanation
You
for
just
like
can't
why
see
the
them
helmet looks
out of
like
range.
bone instead of metal and all this stuff. And it's really, really fascinating. So my comment was like, I really geek out when they put the thought into the backstory
Yeah,
and
I love
into the science. Like,
I love
it's
that.
fake science, but it's like well thought out biology based science for the science fiction that you're enjoying.
And I think that's one of the things that I've over the many years have come to love about social media is we can actually engage. Like I interact with at times, but also follow Michael Okuda, who of course did he and his wife were designers on Star Trek: The Next Generation, lots of different things, but I know him from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And they also do set design for All Mankind, which is like just the greatest. And it's really cool when we get inside the minds and find out these backstories for these designers, because a lot of times you see the end results of the movie and you think of the director and the actors, and of course there's all of this other thought and work that goes into it. And It's so great. I've got this stack of books over here that's all the art of Star Trek, the art of Star Wars, art of 2001. Thank you, Travis. All these different books in there. And it's really, really interesting when you find the backstories to the things we see on the big screen and you really start to understand the work that goes in. It's the coolest, man.
It is the coolest. I geek out about all the behind the scenes stuff. I'm here for it. So I just wanted to show you a blast from the past. Someone, Ultra Blast, that the Twitter account that you and I love so much, was showing off the cover of Predator #1 from Dark Horse back in 1989. I remember going to my local comic shop after class on that week, getting out of school and going, and I was able to buy 3 of these and I got them preserved in the Mylar bag. And they're not graded, and they're probably not kept as well as they probably should have. But these are really cool comic books. This whole series was really cool.
You know what's cool about this cover is you can hear it.
Yes.
Right? Like you can feel this moment. And I love that the Empire State is there, and the birds with that's awesome. I love it.
The cool thing about this series is that you had a city setting, and it felt, I know you said you liked Predator 2, the film.
I did. I loved it.
Didn't love it because it felt corny in a way to me to have.
Well, that's Gary Busey.
I don't know. It's all those people that were in it, and it felt like they were trying to replicate Lethal Weapon with a Predator or something. But anyhow, the comic book itself was really cool in the urban setting, and then it transitions out to the desert, and it's really badass.
I love it. It's badass.
So really, really, really cool. All right, I don't know about you, but I just can't shut up about Predator stuff. So we're going to talk about another Predator story. You have an idea here, so take it away.
So I do love Predator 2. In fact, I literally just watched it again. And so for those of you who are familiar with the movie, in the end, the cop that's in the sort of fighting Predator the whole time is, oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of the actor's name. Oh my God, Danny Glover.
Yep.
Is in the alien ship, and he thinks they're kind of surround him. All the Predators surround him. He thinks they're going to kill him, and they take their wounded Predator away. And at one point, the presumably the leader of the group of Predators hands him this flintlock pistol, and he says, "Take it." And this is the shot. You can see Danny Glover's hand there. Danny Glover, Donald Glover. Which one am I talking about here?
He goes by both.
No, that one is the Lando.
No, it's Donald. My bad.
Donald. And anyway, it doesn't matter. Glover Senior takes the gun and holds it up, and we can see that it says Raphael Andolini 1715. And what's interesting that I found out is that this isn't just some interesting kind of thought of setting up a prequel. It turns out there was a deleted scene from the first movie where you actually do see the Predator on board a pirate ship, and the captain is dying, and he hands the Predator the gun and says, "Take it." And so that's what the Predator says back to Glover there in the movie and hands him the gun. And my thought was, and I know everybody's coming out right now with their Predator takes, right? Like, oh, we should do one where they're hunting dinosaurs or some shit, right? Like that's cool. My take was, let's go deep on this and really see, imagine like Predator at sea, man, like fighting pirates.
Predator at sea. Imagine Predator using skis.
But like they'd be sailing a yacht, they'd be water skiing.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, seriously, there'd probably be like some sort of Predator submarine or some crazy stuff like that.
You could do like a whole Weekend at Bernie's thing with some
Yeah. So anyway, my point was, when I watched the movie the other night, I like this idea of Predators now. I thought it was really cool. The first one was in the jungle. Second one, they tease it in the beginning like you're going to be in a jungle, and then it comes up and you're in Los Angeles.
Right.
And we've got this latest one that is in the 1700s or whatever it is, and this one could also be in that time period, but on the ocean. Now,
so have you read about Prey, or you haven't watched it? So you haven't.
Now I'm going to watch it this weekend.
But guess what? I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a scene in the film that makes a direct reference. I thought this photo was from Prey because they have a scene where they look at a pistol or a rifle like this, and they look at the nameplate and the year on it.
Ooh.
So now, like, we're connecting dots here, because I didn't realize at the time. I didn't realize at the time that it might be a direct connection to Predator 2. It might be. I don't know what it actually said on there, because I wasn't connecting, because I didn't really watch Predator 2 more than like once or twice, so I didn't remember that.
Dude, you got to watch that movie again. It's not your Lethal Weapon take is
right. I know it's
wrong
and exaggerated and dumb, but look.
But it's a good movie.
If you watch Prey, I'll watch Predator 2 again, because I'm almost guaranteeing that there's a direct, at least a shout out or like an homage kind of moment.
You got a deal.
Alrighty, show idea of the week.
That's
Thank you
enough
so
on
much.
Predator.
That's a good one, man. We're
That
like
is a good one.
Predator-tastic this week.
I know we are. We are.
You know what we all also love? I love the movie Heat. I don't know if I know you do as well, right?
I do.
I started getting these promoted ads on Twitter for Heat 2, and I'm like, is there like
Yeah, I literally thought it was going to be another movie.
I thought a movie like I thought they had like stealth mode made a movie that we had never heard about.
And I love Michael Mann's work.
Yeah, and I love Michael Mann, and so I know I forwarded you that DM earlier. Well, it turns out that he went and wrote his first novel, and it happens to be the sequel to the film, and it looks really cool. So I'm excited.
By the way, I actually like the fact that he calls the book Heat 2 instead of like Heat.
Yeah.
Whatever some sort of subtitle.
Heat Aftermath.
Yeah, something like that. I actually love the fact that he calls it Heat 2. But I will read this.
Yes, sir.
I think this looks cool. I love the fact that he worked on it. I'm very excited about this. So I think this looks really, really cool. And I also agree, by the way, because I saw this tweet. It is gorgeous. Like that is a beautiful cover. It's the kind of book that like you want to put behind you when you're doing a live stream. In case anybody wants to send us a complimentary copy, I can give you my address.
Correct.
It's a beautiful, beautiful book, and I would love to display it right back here. I mean, I'm just saying. It's a theory.
I don't know if you noticed this, but that would fit really nicely in between Watchmen and The Dark Knight Rises.
It would, and it would fit really nicely next to my Office Space red swing line and my Atari
I gotta go
1050 disk drive.
Nobody can see that. I got to go widescreen here and say, right there, buddy. I got space. I know it looks full and all that, but I got space.
I'm just saying.
Let's do it. All right. What do you know about presidential records? Do you know anything? I don't want to get political on the show.
I know there's a lot of talk about it right now, Ryan.
However,
Boyles.
I do want to recommend, if you're so inclined and you want to learn more, you want to know the historical perspective with current events, I want to give a shout out to the Road to Now podcast, because they happen to do a really killer episode, coincidentally, a while back about presidential records and controversy. So this is not casting judgment on anything that may or may not have happened in Florida to a Florida man this week, but I do think this is a really great podcast for you to listen to, and it's hosted by Bob Crawford and Ben Sawyer. So
I'll cast judgment, but I'll withhold it.
I know you want to plead the fifth on that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 440 times.
Okay,
sure.
Cool. All right. We got a couple of more stories here. So this one I'm really fascinated because you seem to think that it's
a big business idea right here.
As cool as our offices are, and your office is awesome, my office is awesome, but you seem to think that we might benefit maybe from some fresh air and not just looking at the birds through the window like you've been doing with your fantastic photography at home, but you seem to find like the opportunity to make a work from home backyard fort, and I'm all about it.
Okay, so I think we can agree. Now, I never actually saw one of these, but this is legitimately one of the coolest merchandising things that Star Wars ever produced. I mean,
I just want to zoom in on the swing. Look at that.
The swing, but look, scroll down and look how there's like a Scout Walker control system dashboard cockpit thing up there. Like, dude, I would have lost my mind at that when I was 46. So the point is that I think, imagine if they produced a version of this. Can you zoom back out? Imagine if they produced a version of this that was big enough for adults. Like, clearly this thing is top heavy. Clearly it's not that big. I mean, look at the dog compared to the rest of the size.
Yeah.
Clearly this thing is,
clearly
small.
This is like plastic. That's like,
and it's plastic, but I'm talking about a $1,000 version that is designed to be a work from home office, but is in your backyard. But now imagine like Star Wars themes, all the different Star Wars. Maybe there's like a GI Joe one, a Barbie one.
Oh yeah.
Imagine, and how much fun would it be to have an adventure playset that's actually set up for working? I'm telling you, dude, people would lose their minds and buy these, if nothing than for the social credit Instagram moment of actually being in it.
You're
the
correct.
end of Step Brothers, where they're in the fort wearing the masks, looking at the magazines, is no joke.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. First, this thing is awesome. Now imagine an adult-sized version of this where you could work from home. People would buy them.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. You're totally right. And you know what it is? Right. This is like, you can tell what I was trying to say with the plastic. You can tell this is like probably has the weight and the whatever, the sort of, consistency of like, remember those sand trap, like that would look like a turtle that you put in your backyard? It probably is like the same flimsy plastic. But if you're right, if you had the right construction for a man of my size or yours, I'm all about it.
I'm talking like a work from home playground for adults. Like that would sell.
Let me say, this says that it has 4 unique electronic sounds. I think we could increase that to maybe 16, maybe 64. I think the possibilities are endless.
I think the possibilities are endless. Now, here's what I want to know, Ryan. Have you ever actually seen one of those?
I have not.
I have not either. So, Weeksenders, if any of you out there have ever actually seen one of those, maybe you had one, maybe some kid had one, maybe there was a kid in your neighborhood or a friend that you were like outrageously jealous of, kind of like the kid that I knew that had the USS Flag from GI Joe, which I'm still terribly, terribly jealous of. Yes. If you have ever actually seen one of those, let us know, what was it actually like? Because I would love to know if anyone's ever actually seen one. Well, I've never seen one.
I mean, I didn't see that, and I like Return of the Jedi was like prime time for me. Like, so yeah. I'm surprised, but there was so much merchandise. But let me ask you, what was your Holy Grail toy in that era? Like, for me, it was the Death Star playset, which is not quite Return of the Jedi.
I can't believe you have to ask me this.
Yeah.
You should know this by now.
Star Wars.
After 88. Star Wars. Because you know it's Jetfire.
Yes. Yeah.
Star Wars would probably be the AT-AT. It'd be the AT-AT.
Yeah. Okay. I found the Star Wars, the Death Star playset at a yard sale, and somebody was like selling it for like $10. I had to get it.
Did you buy it?
Of course. I'm talking when I was a kid. Like, somebody was like getting rid of it.
Oh my God!
It was missing.
Did you lose your cool, or were you?
I didn't care. I didn't care. I was like, it was one of those things where you're like walking around slow, like acting like you're not interested, and then you walk away, and you're like, I don't,
maybe I'm interested.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, you're sweating.
Because I totally could not support or afford getting the real thing, so that was like my only shot.
So actually, that's another good question for Weeksenders: is what was your Holy Grail? Star Wars story. I mean, honestly, dude, you've got one of them literally behind you right now, and that is an awesome one. It's funny. The other day, I was thinking how cool it would be if we ever had a scene in a Star Wars movie or a Rogue One kind of type film where we see a version of the AT-AT that can run.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
I would love that.
A high-speed walker.
I've seen videos where they do like a deep fake where it's like an AT-AT is acting like a dog, and
I know I've seen that.
I know what you mean,
and I know that the AT-ST could kind of run, but I'm talking about like how cool would it be to see an AT-AT type walker at a canter or a full gallop, right? Like, that's what it does. That would be amazing.
What could go wrong, right? What could go wrong?
There's nothing that could go wrong as long as you avoid harpoons and tow cables.
Well, yeah. All right, so grab your drink, grab your beer, because we have to say goodbye to one of the greats today. So, Xanadu, I hardly knew you. Thanks, Sandy. The reason I had to give a shout out is because
hopelessly devoted.
I think hopelessly devoted, yes, but I don't know, man. For me, I think if you asked my wife top 3 movies, Grease is in there. And so
Grease would not be in my top 3, but it's a great movie.
Yeah.
So one of the things I love about Grease is it's kind of like what's it called? Dazed and Confused, where it's like they're all supposed to be in high school, but they all look like they're in their 30s.
That is correct.
I just love that.
Yeah. All right, man. Well,
Hey,
that
whoa,
is
whoa.
the show.
No, it's
That is
not.
the show.
No,
what
it's
do you
not.
mean? What do you
Can
mean?
you take us to the full screen thing?
Yeah.
You forgot that
What's
I
that
have
mean?
something
What did
to
I forget?
share.
Oh, you're right. We have a special and one more thing, folks.
We do have one more thing. So, unless you've all been living under a rock and you don't know me, the movie Tron is a very big deal to me. Tron Legacy is also a very big deal to me. And I love the light cycles, right? I mean, I've got my NCOM right here, model 786. Very big deal. And one of the first pieces of footage I ever saw from Tron Legacy before it came out was the test footage that Disney shared at a Comic-Con. I don't even know, like 10 years and years and years ago. And it's the guy, and he's running, and he takes the baton, and he opens it, and the light cycle forms around him, and he lands and drives away.
I think I see where you're going with this.
And for years, I knew that Disney put out a line of Tron Legacy toys when the movie came out, and they produced a light cycle baton. And what's really cool is you couldn't get them. They were highly collectible. People were charging an arm and a leg for them. They're very valuable. Well, and you couldn't get one. Well, I finally found someone.
Tens of people were clamoring.
Tens, dude. And I finally found someone who didn't know what they had.
Oh my god, dude!
And I fucking got one,
dude.
And
you're telling me it's mint in box, like you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is our eternal debate. Do you, like me, always want to? I'm holding Kylo Ren's lightsaber here. Do you always? So, are you going to break your rule of taking stuff out and playing with it, or what?
I don't know. The only other thing I've never opened, which is also super important to me, is my saber Athena.
Yep.
And I don't even know why. Like, there's nothing collectible about this. I just absolutely love this Jaeger, and I never wanted to open it. I loved the first movie. Second movie wasn't that great, but I love Saber Athena.
Yeah.
And I do want to open it, but I also don't. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of let it sit for a little while, see if the pressure builds to the point where I can't take it anymore, and then maybe I'll open it up. But I'm also worried that it's very clearly, by the way, a lot cheesier than I had imagined in my overactive imagination. If these lit up, then I would totally take it out.
Well, here's my challenge.
But I don't think I'm going to.
I think if you were going to, I'm just putting this in your brain, don't get crazy. Like, if you were going to make a short film with some stop motion animation, maybe, and you actually wanted to replicate that incredible, awesome scene that you see in Tron Legacy. I think, you should.
Okay, so here's maybe what I'll do. This may be the reason I open it. Is maybe what I should do is open it and then recreate that scene, and I'll jump with the baton, but instead of a light cycle forming, I'll just smash into the ground and be injured. Yeah. And that could be really funny.
Yeah. What if you take the baton and you jump and you do that slow-mo crash into your bed where you dream about being one of the going into the grid, going on.
My Rye guy is onto something.
There you go. See, I'm always thinking about what's the video angle. We need some more promo. I don't know if you know, but we need some more promo, like stingers for the show. Maybe, hey, just saying, kill two birds.
I like it.
All right, folks.
Don't kill any birds. I love birds.
I love birds too. All right, folks. That is our show. My name is Ryan. This is Graham. This has been Weeks In show number 88. Good Lord, we're getting close to 100, Graham. What are we going to do? We're going to get some fun stuff going with the next 12 episodes. All right, folks, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next Friday afternoon for more useless nerd knowledge. Yes.